Hello booktube, hello book friends, welcome back to my channel and another video. It's my weekly wrap-up video, what I've been reading and planning to read this week. It's February, so it's Holmes is Where the Heart Is month, and this week has been very Sherlock Holmes focused. Not totally, but pretty much. Where do we start? Well, we started with probably my favourite of probably my favourite Sherlock Holmes story of all time, The Hound of the Baskervilles. It's the first week of Holmes is Where the Heart is the challenge is to read one of the novels. And this is where I am in my ongoing rereading of the Sherlock Holmes canon. I've read everything up to The Hound of the Baskervilles, so it was a logical choice to read this as my contribution to week one. I'd forgotten how short this book actually is, and so it didn't take all that long to read. I think this copy is about 170 pages, 174 pages, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Haven't read it in a while, so it was interesting. The bits that I'd forgotten about, and the bits, there's lots that you remember, and then there's little bits that you forget. And I think some of the little bits that I'd forgotten were the things that were crucial to why there is a hound, and the what is going on in the story. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend this if you're still undecided about which Sherlock Holmes long story you're going to read. I would recommend this one, although they're all good, but this is, as I say, my favourite. Then I started, and I think I mentioned this. I mentioned this in last week's video. I got a head start on reading what I think is the group read for Holmes is Where the Heart Is, which is the pastiche novel by Dan Simmons, The Fifth Heart. And I think last week I said I wasn't getting on with it very well. And truth be told, I wasn't. And I actually stopped reading it. And I went and read something else, which I'll talk about in a sec. And I thoroughly enjoyed the something else. So I thought, right, I'm going to come back and give this another go. And my plan was just to give it, I read another 50 pages or so and see if my opinions had changed. My opinion hasn't changed. I am going to do a separate video on this, but I have read the whole book. I persevered because I thought, no, it's a group read. It's also a read on Book Time with Elvis's Patreon, which I'm a member of. So I didn't want to not read it. So I have read it. I will do a separate video because I think there are a lot of people who are planning to or currently reading this. So I don't want to, don't want to give too much away in terms of spoilers, because I need to talk about things that will spoil the book, so yeah, I finished it. Not for me, but your mileage will vary, I have no doubt. The book I read in the interim was and I'll put a picture up because it was on my Kindle, was Peter Straub's Ghost Story. And that was, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mentioned it, I think, in my DNF, yes, DNF or Not Right Now, did not finish or Not Right Now video, as a book that when I opened it on my Kindle, I was on page 97, I think. Oh, I don't remember starting this. So I went back to page 1 and started again. And it was fantastic. It was a proper kind of malevolent, nasty ghost story, if that makes sense. It's about the Chowder Society, who are basically a group of old men, sort of 65 plus old men, who meet, I think, once a month and just basically tell stories to one another. Some of the stories they've made up, some of them are real things that have happened to them in their lifetime. And they are basically being, what's the word, molested by this thing that is haunting the town. And as the book progresses, things get slowly worse. Some of them don't live to see the end of the book. In fact, I think quite a few of them don't. So if you haven't read this book, spoilers, sorry. But yeah, and I thought it was fantastic. I'm not quite sure why I stopped reading it before. Maybe it just, like I say, not right now, not for me at this moment in time. I like Peter Straub as an author. I've read a few of his books, and I think it looks like some of them are being republished, which is good because there are quite a few that I haven't read. So it might be an opportunity to, pick up some of the ones that I haven't read and read those. But yeah, brilliant. So that's it. I only sort of 3 books this week. The Fifth Heart was quite chunky, as was Ghost Story. Both were kind of 500 plus pages. And now I'm moving on to more Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to read His Last Bow as a contribution to a book of short stories. So this is, I think it's the second to last book of short stories that he wrote, or Conan Doyle wrote rather. Yeah, so that's coming up, and probably I need to break up my Sherlock Holmes a bit with something else. But yeah, that's what I've been reading this week, and what I'm planning to read at least for part of next week. What have you been reading? Let me know in the comments below, and I will speak to you next time. If you have been, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.